Okay, hello everyone, welcome to the Sparks channel. No time wasting on basics, no stories, just marks. Okay, so now this is the exam type question. You can find this in an exam, and they want you to find the values of a and b if x plus 3 and x minus 1 are vectors of f at x. So we can see that f at x is a cubic function. We're going to work on the remainder theorem. So now, to solve this problem, the first thing that we're going to do, let's start with the first vector, the first given vector, which is x plus 3. Let's start with that guy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say I have x plus 3, which they say is a vector. What do? We equate it to 0. Therefore, what is x equals to? X is equal to minus 3. So when you have it like that, we know that we have to find what we call the remainder. Right, so the remainder, how do you find the remainder? If f at minus 3, we need to find f at minus 3. We take the f at minus 3, we need to equate it to 0, because they said x plus 3 is a vector. So if it's a vector, that's when you equate to 0. We need to find where there's x, we put 1. Negative 3 from the original equation. This will be 2 into minus 3 to the power 3, positive a into negative 3 to the power 2. We add b into negative 3, then we minus 3. When you work this thing out, remember, don't forget to equate this to 0. The first number is minus 3 to the power 3 times 2, which will give us minus 54. We add 3 squared minus 3 squared is 9. This one will give us 9a. Then we're going to say minus 3b minus 3. Let's equate this guy to 0. Do we have the like terms that we can add? Yes. It's 54 and minus 3. Minus 54 and minus 3, which will give us minus 57. So we can see that this will give us an answer of 9a minus 3b minus 57, which is equated to 0. We need to decide on which variable can we make subject of the formula. So I think it's best if we make b subject of the formula, because if I write this as minus 3b, I can say this is equals to what? This is equals to the 57 will go to the other side to be positive, and then 9 will go to the other side to be negative. So I'm going to have negative 9a positive 57. Right. So now what we're going to do is that we can divide everything by negative 3, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. We're going to have the value of b as what? The value of b, minus 9 divided by minus 3 is just 3. So we're going to have positive 3a minus 19. And what I'm going to do, please allow me to call this equation 1. This is equation 1. So we used the first vector to find the first equation. What's next? The second vector. We need to use the second vector, which is x minus 1, equated to 0. Therefore, what is x? X is equal to positive 1. We use the second vector to find x. So now, since this one is a vector, what will be the remainder? We know that the remainder is going to be f at that 1 equated to 0. What is f at x? So we just have to substitute again. Where there's where there's x, we put 1. This is what we have. This is what we have. Therefore, we equate this to 0, and we can solve this. So if we solve, the first one will be 2 plus a plus b minus 3, equate this to 0. So now what we're going to do is that we can add the like term and say this is a plus b, 2 minus 3 is minus 1, equated to 0. Please allow me to call this equation 2. So this will be, so the first one we said will be equation 1. Let us name this as equation 1. This will be my equation 2. So now I have equation 1, I have equation 2. What's next? we can substitute, because remember, we know what is the value of b. We can substitute. Where there's b, we can put 3a minus 19 and solve for a. Let us quickly work on that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to sub in b, it's equals to 3a minus 19 into equation 2. So this will be a, where there's b, we put positive 3a minus 19 minus 1, it's equals to 0. So what we did on this equation, we just did the substitution. The next thing that we need to do is to solve for a. How can we solve for a? 3a plus a is 4a. So I'm going to write it down. 4a, equate this to what? Then minus 19 and minus 1 is 20. When you bring to the other side, is positive 20. What is the value of a? Therefore, I have the value of a as what? The value of a, we divide both sides by 4, we'll find out the value of a is 5. So now that you have the value of a, what is next? We need to find the value of b. This is easy enough. The value of b. We need to find the value of b, but we know that. I'm just going to move this thing top. We know that b was given as, when we do our substitution, working out, this was the substitution. We find that b is 3a minus 19. So this will be 3a minus 19. But the good news is that we already know the value of a. So this will be 3. Where there's a, what can we substitute? 5 minus 19. Therefore, what is the value of b? We can find that on the calculator, that the value of b is minus 4. So this is how you solve the value of a and b if you are given the factors and the original equation of a cubic function. If you like the video, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss the next lesson.